Huh? No, I think I saw him come across that field. I saw him earlier from that hill.
Oh, I saw a hen over there.
Big one?
He's a good one.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. I sent out a little bit of a request on social media trying to get some feedback from you guys. I wanted to base episode 3 more on calling, but I also wanted to keep in touch with you guys so I don't miss any questions along the way, kind of keep everybody up to speed. So I thought it'd be good to reach out to you guys and get some questions from you so I don't miss anything, and we kind of cover all the bases as we go along here. My first response was from James Manning on Turkey Callers of America. And James is asking me about proper blind placement. And he is telling me he's an old guy and he shoots a 10 gauge. So James is in Texas. I've actually never hunted in Texas, but based off some buddies that go down there yearly, you're going to be hunting a lot of that low scrub where you can't see a long ways unless you get down on your hands and knees, where those turkeys can always see way through that brush. Based off what you're asking me and what I'm seeing as far as Texas, blind placement, I would say you're going to need to get there in the dark on an area where you know birds are roosted close or where birds are going to be traveling, and set that blind up to give you optimal shooting opportunities in multiple directions. If you have a lot of that low scrub and you need to trim out shooting lanes, so be it. Try to pick a place where your visibility is at a maximum. Maybe even run a set of decoys one direction, and then another direction that may not be visible from where they would be, have another decoy or 2 decoys. That way you're maximizing your chances of a bird seeing you. I recommend a good swivel chair in your situation, James. So if you do have 2 sets out or you need to be able to spin to shoot, comfort is going to be a key, it sounds like, for you. The new Primos blind with the big visibility is going to give you a big advantage as far as where you can see. Tuck that blind into some natural cover. Get you a good chair. Put out a couple different decoys in 2 different locations to give you maximum visibility to birds that may be passing by. Any situation you can get that blind out where it gives you a vantage point to see farther, to know kind of what's approaching, and give you a little more time to get ready. I think it's going to be a big benefit for you. Thanks, James. I hope that helps you just a little bit. Maximize your visibility. All right, next question. Scott Drenning sent me a message and said to go over purrs on a mouth call. That's the only call that he has trouble with. Scott, I definitely say you're not the only one that has trouble purring on a mouth call. Obviously, most of you know how to purr on a slate or a glass or whatever, a push button. So you can still accomplish the purr if that's what you want to do. But if you're wanting to go hands-free and you want to learn how to purr on a mouth call, there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways you can do it. One of them kind of sucks, but it works. And the other one, I believe, is the right way to do it. So the first one is to move your lips, which you can do a purr with that. It's hard to be real quiet and real subtle with it. It works for a fighting purr fairly well. Like that. So that's one way to accomplish the purr. Probably not the right way to do it, but if that's all you can do, then that's fine. So if you can do the purr that way, but you still want to improve and you want to learn, you need to learn how to trill your throat. And I don't know what the proper term is, but you're basically making the dangly thing in the back of your throat vibrate back and forth. It's called the uvula. Just like that. Let's do it in slow-mo. So there you go. You get the idea of what you're trying to make your throat do. You're essentially trying to fog a mirror. At the same time, kind of tighten your throat and then push harder. And you'll get it. So if you can get that figured out even a little bit, next you need to throw your mouth call in. And you're going to do that same thing. Or a fighting purr. I place this at the roof of my mouth and I press it up, and I want you to see the position of my tongue. Right there. Press it up against the roof of your mouth and leave your tongue touching the bottom of those reeds. Push the call to the roof of your mouth. get that sound. Now you're going to want to close your mouth down to lower the ear pressure and adjust kind of how much air you're going to blow over that call. Moving your lips is going to change how that sounds. So that's kind of what you want to go for. Are you trying to be subtle and quiet, or are you doing those fighting purrs? From that, I'm going to stem into Rob Kaiser's question about what calls to use and when. Well, based off those two deals right there, you know, that subtle purring is going to be really nice when your bird's kind of hung up, or he's close, he's in the woods, you can't see him, but you still want to entice him, you want to coax him and let you know where you are. Those soft little purrs are a good way to keep him coming, keep him interested. You may be able to hear him drumming, he's not gobbling, he's close. Very good time to use that. The fighting purr, on that note, say you shoot a bird and there's 1, 2, 3 other gobblers with that bird or a pack of jakes, and you want to try to get them to come back in. Well, as soon as you shoot, you know, sometimes they'll fly out of there and it's over, but a lot of times, if there's more than one, they'll come back and try to fight that dead bird. And in that scenario, you can do that fighting purr to try to piss them off, get them a little angry, get them fired up, get them wanting to come back and start that fight. Take your hat, slap your hat against your leg, kind of like how you do a fly down cackle. So Scott, that's how you do the 2 purrs. Work on trilling that and vibrating the uvula. Get your call in your mouth, press it to the ceiling, and keep your tongue touching those reeds, and then blow that air over your uvula, get the vibration going, and get that sound. Bring your lips down, and then purse your lips and adjust the volume, adjust the airflow, and you will get that purr to come out of that mouth call. Now back to Rob Kaiser's questions, you know, what calls to use and when and what they mean to turkeys. Obviously, when you start the day, say you're hunting a roosted bird, you're going to do your fly down cackle. But before you do those fly down cackles, you know, you're going to do some soft tree yelps. You can do them on a slate. Very quiet, very subtle. If you're getting close to fly down time and you want to do a fly down cackle, that's simply doing your regular cutting. But you just do it in a fly down cackle sequence, which is like this. And while you're trailing that down, you can do some leg slapping and wing flapping to simulate that bird hitting the ground. There's your fly down cackle. That kind of starts your whole day. Now you're working that bird on the ground, you know, soft yelps. He's probably going to be close if you're hunting a roosted bird. You can do a little bit of purring like we went over earlier. But just say that doesn't work, or you're going out later in the day, you're trying to locate turkeys. I run this Mayhem OD glass. One way to keep your pot calls and strikers going, always carry a lighter. And don't be afraid to burn these ends. Keep these things charred and blacked up. And I always carry sandpaper and these little roughing pads to keep your glass and your slates and everything rough. So I like to use these pot calls to locate turkeys because they're real loud. So when you're trying to locate turkeys, you know, a pot call and a striker is a good way to do it. Box calls work well. But for me, I can get really loud on a glass or a slate call with a wooden striker. Your main goal is high frequency and volume, trying to reach out and locate a turkey that you haven't heard gobbling, so you know where one is. You can pinpoint them, you can start moving in and getting more realistic on your calls. If nothing gobbles, I usually will go into some cutting. And then cut it off and listen. And if nothing answers that, I usually push forward and cover some more ground and continue what I'm doing, calling loud and trying to find those birds off in the distance. Same thing can be accomplished with a box call, but once you've gotten set up on a turkey, you got to take his temperature. You got to find out what he's wanting. Is he gobbling at everything you throw at him? Is he already coming? If he's already coming, he's back. Let him work. Let him do his thing. If you need to call occasionally to relocate him because he's gone quiet for a little while, then yes, you may want to cut. Let's just say you've located your bird now and you made a set. And you say, okay, I'm going to pick this tree. I know where I'm going to set up. I expect him to come here. If he starts answering you a bunch and you're doing a lot of cutting, you're getting real excited, and he seems like he's really firing up, I feel like it's a good time to stop what you're doing, go quiet, and let him tell you what he's going to do. Now, if he stays hot and he's getting louder and he's getting closer, go quiet. Let him come in, let him do his thing. If he hangs up, then maybe go into some softer yelps, see what he does. If he doesn't fire back up, it's been 15, 20 minutes and you're getting a little worried, do some more cutting, try to get him to gobble again. See where he's at, see if he's still coming. If he gobbles close and he's been coming that whole time and he's been kind of quiet, throw in your purrs, be real quiet, be real still, let him do his thing. If he gobbles a lot in the distance and you're cutting and you finally get him fired up but he does not want to come, you may want to consider making a move. If he's far enough, you can make a move on him. There could be a creek, an obstruction. Something could be blocking him from getting to you if he's that fired up, but he will not close the distance. It could be a pressured bird on public ground that just knows, hey, you need to come to me. In the natural order of things, the hen goes to the gobbler. That's just how it's supposed to be. So if he's gobbling and he's hot but he won't come, make a move. Even if that means backing up and calling, trying to make him think you're leaving, or make a loop and go set up a completely different side of him. Think about topo maps. Is there a creek? Is there obstructions? And kind of go from there. If you need to make a move, you need to make a move. Don't wait too long. But don't move too soon either. 5 minutes is not enough to say, he's still there, it's been 5 minutes, let's go. Odds are he's going to bump him. If he does a lot of gobbling and he's hot and all of a sudden he goes dead silent and he won't gobble at anything you're doing, do not get up. Sit still, set your pot call down, put everything away, get on the beat of your gun, and just move your eyes and be ready. Because a lot of times when they're fired up and they just go dead silent, they're coming in quiet and they will show up. Sometimes they won't even putt if they bust you. They're just gone and you're going to wonder, man, what happened? If a bird goes quiet after he's been real hot and you think, man, there's nothing between me and him, a coyote could have spooked him, he could have found a hen. But a lot of times, and it's way more times than I'm willing to risk it, when they go quiet after they've been that hot, they're coming your way. Be still, be ready, be on your gun. All of a sudden you're going to see that white head and he's going to be on top of you. When it comes to different calls, diaphragms I feel like are a must-have. You need to learn something. You at least need to learn how to yelp on them. They're hands-free. They can close that last little bit of distance with them with your hands up on the gun if you're hunting by yourself. The pot calls and a variety of strikers, the glass especially and aluminums, man, they're loud. They can really reach out there. Get good at calling hard and loud on that thing when nothing will gobble. And I'm telling you, you are going to locate and you're going to hear turkeys that you've never had answer you before because you were calling so quiet trying to be realistic. Their brain is real tiny, so don't be afraid to call loud and be aggressive. When you locate them, then you can drop back. But I know too many guys that I've hunted with or seen that call yelp, 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 yelp. Nothing, man, I don't know. And then I'll get on my call and rip on it and they will gobble. And we'll make a move. It'll give us a chance to set up and we'll kill that turkey. Don't be afraid to get loud and aggressive. And especially early in the season, and try to reach out there and locate those birds that you've never heard before because you were afraid to call that loud. And the box call is another good one to have. Those three calls are really all you need. I think you need that high end and you need the low end, and the box call for me is somewhere in the middle. So if I'm set up on a bird or just kind of killing time during the day when nothing's gobbling, that thing sounds real nice to me and it's got a different tone than my other calls. So I like to carry it just to have something different to throw at them. Learn the trill, learn how to purr, learn how to get quiet on your mouth calls, and just practice now. So I appreciate the questions, guys. I'm kind of considering episode 4 doing a live episode. But I think it'd be kind of fun to meet with you guys online, live, answer some questions, and go over calls and tactics, kind of like a podcast live, all in one. So I appreciate you all watching this one. Thanks for the questions. Subscribe to that, like these videos, and that way you guys won't miss any of the next ones that are coming out soon. My 1 million media on Facebook is finally gaining some really cool traction. I've got some neat snow goose stuff coming up before turkey season still. And Instagram is lance.million. And follow me on that. That way you guys can be kind of current. Thanks a lot, guys. I love you. I'll see you soon.